We can get a long story short, but that night I met in the Kearney area, where the other side, I met my future wife.
In the Kearney area?
Okay, it wasn't the Kearney area.
Right.
Yeah, it was listening to Curtis Stephen playing, and long story short, she was with a number of Catholic females that were living. She had just moved here from New Jersey, and I picked her out, got her number, and the rest is history.
Better than those dead Catholic females, am I right?
She was living.
You did say there was a bunch that were living. Yes, BeatiDude Nation. This is Jeff Scheffelbein joining you for the BeatiDudes. I couldn't be more excited about today's surprise guest, somebody we booked less than 24 hours ago in studio. But before...
Sorry.
I think you've been in the Paul Kolker mouth class.
That's not at all how I advertised that. Sound effects?
Sound effects.
Is that what you were going for?
I was trying to go air horn,
Is that why-
excitement.
You nailed it, but is that why I can't get anybody to sign up for your class?
That might explain.
Anybody interested in Paul's mouth class?
All right, folks, the BeatiDudes is a show for Christian men seeking to grow in their walk with the Lord. We do not take ourselves seriously, but we take the faith very seriously. So in essence, we do take ourselves seriously because we're part of the faith. We're the body of Christ here on earth. I'm joined by Nick Besner.
That was a contradiction, and I love it.
Yeah. Great mouth. And
Yes.
Paul Kolker.
I'm
original
barely
mouth.
holding on to this episode, and we're not even 2 minutes into it.
Well, the good news is we brought somebody with incredible grip strength to help us all hold on here today. We've
There you
already
go.
proven it with the old grip strength machine. That's just a yellow ball. Hey, before we get to know you at all, Brad Linder, don't even say a word. Squeeze that thing as hard as you can. I want to see what number comes up. This is a...
I'm going to try to get just like Nick.
There's a technique.
This guy,
There's
yeah,
a
he's
technique.
got...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did
oh,
he do
yeah.
it 200?
Oh.
88.
88
I
pounds.
almost got what Nick had.
I know. Nick is he's a dirty cheater when it comes to grip strength.
I've been cheating on that for a long time.
If you're not watching on YouTube, that's your problem. But you can always subscribe to us by going on there at BeatiDudes, at the undersign.
No, none of that was right. It's at the _ BeatiDudes.
On YouTube.
Undersign?
Your
So close.
Your dyslexia was running away with you there.
Yeah.
Gosh, I've been on a roll lately. No, so we are all... we happen to go to a parish that's just chock full of BeatiDudes talent. Like, it's like, are we going to run out of guests? No. We've made it to row 3 of St. Anne, 10 a.m. We haven't even gone to
Just
the
on
other
the right
times yet.
side. Like,
Yeah.
Left side.
left side.
Left.
Strong side.
Welcome to the show, Brad Linder, longtime fan of the BeatiDudes.
We are longtime fans of yours as well. Let me say.
It's a two-way street.
Yes.
Dude, can you believe you're here?
I can't, but I was put in the game for this very moment.
What were you planning to do tonight when you got a text message yesterday saying, we're calling you in?
Pretty much what I do every single night.
Yeah? Go on.
Hang out with my family.
All right.
Nice.
Kind of help the wife a little bit.
We're your brothers in Christ, so this is kind of the same except for no marriage.
Yes.
You're
They're-
kind of
they-
helping us
They
out.
may be doing Uber out tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
They don't call it Uber out.
Okay, Uber Eats?
There we go.
I know that.
Wow. Jeff got something right.
I know. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I always like to start every show with a guest and say, how long have you known Paul Kolker?
Yes.
Actu-
I would
Yes.
probably say 2003 was the first
Yeah.
time I met you.
Yeah. I was a
You
teen.
were alive?
Yes. I was a teen in the youth group when he came on as one of the well, not the youth ministers, but
Life
one of,
Teen.
Yeah.
Life
One of
Team
the core
volunteers,
group.
core members.
Yeah.
You didn't have a family then.
I did not.
You were just out there being a good steward of the gifts God gave you and running the Life Team program.
You could say that.
Yeah.
I had just moved. So quick backstory
Go
is
for it.
never really got involved with going to, like being involved with church. Just
Sure.
went to church. Went over-
Catholic, though. Grew up Catholic.
Grew
Okay.
up Catholic. College kind of bounced around trying to find my way. And then my stepsister, Amy Luttrell, they were involved with the Life Team here at St. Anne's. And I went and I saw a priest going, going with their heads
Raising
up,
their roof.
dancing.
Raising the roof.
Father John Dick was his
Yeah,
name, and I'm like,
yeah.
what the heck is going on? I love praise and worship, and so that's one of the reasons why I kind of bounced around. First time I saw that, and then when I moved here in 2003, which we can go over, but I moved and I went the first time I went to Mass, Kurt Clement said, hey, we're looking for volunteers. And I moved for a reason. So I reached out to him. I met with him that week. Next week I was a core member.
Yes.
And that was started my St. Anne's.
You're welcome, Paul.
Yeah. No, yeah. He was helping to get me in spiritual shape.
More to come on
Yeah.
getting in shape. Do you, couple things. You look like you're Eastern European athlete. Did you grow up in America?
I grew up in America. I grew up in a place called College Station, Texas.
Gotta love it. Whoop. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's so much about you that just makes you amazing. Everything about you so far.
So far, so good.
Okay, so you move to, let's just go through this. You
Yep.
move, you get involved. Tell us about the trajectory of like faith and being involved from there.
Yes.
And anything about Paul, because it seems like we learn something new on every show.
Well, I was a senior when he arrived, so there might not be a whole lot that he knows.
Don't you preempt this with some sort of cushion.
I'm just saying.
I also saw you nudge him as you said.
Or he might know the worst things about me because I was a senior. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot worse than I think
Than
that,
Paul
at that
Colvin.
time.
That's
Yep.
true.
So yeah,
We know that.
when I moved up here, it was a leap of faith.
Yeah.
I had went overseas to play basketball, came back. I taught at a private school for emotionally disturbed kids, lived in College Station, and it was as you probably know, being from college, going to College Station, there's really either college or you have family in College Station. If you're where I was at 26, 25, 26, 27. It's not very fun.
You can hear
college.
your echo.
So knowing that, I kind of on faith said, I'm ready for a change. I need God to move in my life.
Yeah.
I had some friends in Dallas and moved up here. I actually lived in East Plano when I moved up here because that's the friend I had in with that come up. And first weekend I moved to. I knew I wanted to be use my gifts, and I knew I wanted to get plugged into a church. And so yes, went to St. Anne's, and I just wanted to give my time, my energy, and it was the biggest gift to me because I knew I had something to give.
Yeah.
And so certainly being around amazing, core team members, amazing Catholic church, getting fed what I needed, what I haven't necessarily gotten before, being in that community, which I had not had before, it fed me. And certainly 1 year later at the St. Anne Carnival, that's when the next step happened.
Go on. Greatest carnival.
What could have happened at the carnival?
Yeah.
How would you
Yes.
describe this church carnival, Nick, for somebody who's never been to the St. Anne Carnival?
Yeah, it is okay. Phew. Think of like the traveling carnival that's like going down the highway, but then like 3 times that size.
Yeah.
And then there's also the other half of it, which is like put on by the church
Yeah.
for little kids. So there's like little games and face painting and things that you would normally do at a church like function,
Yes.
fundraiser, whatever. But then there's also like a beer garden for dads and roller coasters for teens and funnel cake, like everything.
It's like nothing you've ever seen before for church carnival.
It's unbelievable.
It's a smaller version of the state fair.
Yeah.
They call it the State of Grace Fair.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I don't. That's not. That's nothing
So,
to
yeah.
say there.
No,
the Six Flags Museum?
we went for the first time maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I was like, what is this?
takes over like a block, a whole
yeah,
block. Yeah.
And people from all over come. 'Cause
Oh.
it ain't just that parish. So
50, 60, 70,000 people come.
what happened to you at
Yes.
the famed?
We can get a long story short, but that night I met in the Kearney area, where the other side, I met my future wife.
In the Kearney area?
Okay, it wasn't the Kearney
Right,
area.
right.
Yeah,
It was listening to Curtis Stephen playing, and long story short, she was with a number of Catholic females that were living. She had just moved here from New Jersey, and I picked her out, got her number, and the
Better-
rest is history.
Better than those dead Catholic females, am I right?
She was living.
You did say there was a bunch that were living.
Yeah, I
together.
said long story short, there was 5 girls in this one house,
Oh, living together.
and I had heard through Naomi.
yeah.
Yep. So she had told me that there was 5 new Catholic girls that were living in this house, and sure enough, through that that sphere of influence, I picked her out.
There you go.
Does she know that you picked her out?
Yes, she picked me
You
out.
called
too.
your shot?
Yeah,
Bank shot?
she picked me out as well, but certainly
that works. Yeah.
Certainly, we had
I
connection.
think
that,
if you
that
go
first time.
straight, it's like a swoosh. Like if you dated the roommate first,
It's
and
a
then,
bank
then
shot.
it's a bank shot.
That's a good point. And if you pick and roll, all you did was ditch your buddy on the way.
That's right. Stiff arm.
I went right into the slam dunk.
Yeah, there we
Got
go.
her number.
Well, how tall are you?
6'4.5" if I'm a basketball playing guy, but really 6'3".
Yeah.
Ah.
I know that I've had to lie about my height before to get into things.
Sure. We'll go with that.
What does that mean?
I'm gonna not
Roller
acknowledge and
coasters?
just keep going. So, so then what happens?
I did runway modeling.
Jefferson, we were trying to move
No,
on.
no, not so then what happened with your lie about your height. Brad, our guest.
Yes.
What happened after
Yep.
you started
God
dating and
continued.
then
Yep,
married your
we-
wife?
Yep. Got her number. Dated the next few weeks and dated for the next 3 years. We married April 21st, 2007.
Okay.
So
Nice.
A little over 4 years. We'll be coming up in September 11th on 20 years of that special moment.
It was September 11th.
September 11th. It was the day after my birthday, so it's easy to remember. And yes, September 11th, which
Yeah,
is
you can
another
remember all that.
Yep.
Yeah. Man,
20
incredible.
years.
I know we're going to talk about family a little bit in the second show, but that led to a pretty big explosion of family.
It did.
How
So
many kiddos you raising?
We got 7 kids. So we got married in 2007.
You drive a Jeep. Where do 7 kids go?
We,
You know the spare
you-
tire part? You can fit a couple kids in that.
There's a 3 bucket seat.
yep, in the back, and then the back of the Jeep, we ended up putting, you know how they have, you can make extra seats. We did that, but then I got pulled over and had to no.
Make it a safari Jeep where they just ride on the front bumper.
We've done that. They have certainly gone on there, but we can't really go too far. You know my street. We can't go too far back in that street. It's
That's
a
right.
dead-end street.
That's right. All right. So keep going with this. Well, first of all, I want to back up. You said I played ball overseas. Anybody says ball, they mean basketball, right?
Played b-ball. So quick rundown for me. I was blessed in College Station. I went to A&M Consolidated. I was a 2-time All-State basketball player. Wow. But as you can see, I'm also white. I wasn't very athletic. No scholarships going out. So the first step is I was blessed to go to the Texas McDonald's All-Star game
That's a
and
big
play,
deal.
That
which
is a
is
big
great.
deal.
Yes,
Yeah.
only a few people go. Didn't have a scholarship going in. I worked my butt off throughout the summer. After that game, I was able to get a scholarship to Kilgore Junior College.
Yeah, Rangerettes.
Rangerettes.
I mean, Rangers.
No, Rangers and Rangerettes. 2 years there, and then I got to scholarship to Texas A&M Commerce.
Yeah.
So played 2 years there. I got my master's degree. While getting my master's degree and helping the basketball team, getting my graduate assistant, I got kind of better at basketball. I was like, I'm young. Let's try to go play overseas. So I did. Was blessed the next year to go overseas. Actually, it was a year and a half later, but went and played in Ireland. Do you know Ireland has a basketball association just like the NBA? It's just
No.
called the Irish Basketball Association.
No.
Yep.
Amazing.
You have to be 5'6" to play. And I got in at
we're in.
6'3".
Yeah.
Should have seen this guy.
I'm part Irish, so yeah, that checks out.
Is that
it's a
another-
low bar?
Did you lie about your heights and say I'm 5'6"?
Like, oh, did you mean 6'5"?
I got in being 5'6" for sure. No, so did that, and then 9/11 hit the next year, and God just said, "You're not going overseas." So I got a job at a private school for emotionally disturbed kids. I loved it. I was a teacher, and about a year and a half later, felt called to move up to Dallas.
When you were doing the overseas ball and going through all this, were you practicing your faith? Were you like a weekly communicant? Were you going deeper? Like, what was that like that you felt a pull then in
Yes.
your mid-20s that it's time to like go seek it more?
So I just on my faith life, my parents got a divorce when I was in 9th grade, and so it was a tough, difficult time for me. My brother was 4 years older, gone to college, and so my my call then was my God is my father. And so even from 14 years old, I had a father. And so that
Awesome.
being said, it was really up to me to actually go to church. And it was in that time period where my mom was going through her own recovery. And what ended up happening was throughout college, I church top. I started going back to the Catholic faith. I still was going to praise and worship at other churches, and I still had a faith. So when I was traveling, I was alone, but I was not alone.
Yeah.
So a lot of my journey through my faith is me being alone, like going with my parents, going to school, moving up to Dallas without necessarily having a job. It was about me and God, and my whole journey is about it's okay if I'm alone. And I have really been okay with being alone, which in some cases is not good.
Yeah.
I've understood that. I need community.
I was going to say not good because you got 7 kids.
Yes. So I've got some sayings, and it's not about me is one of those sayings. It's
Yeah.
not about me. And so certainly now it's getting up really early if I want my alone time, which
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. You know, this show is about you, so don't hold back. But
Yep.
God's present here too.
Yes.
So it's you and God and then these 3 guys. And if you play your cards right, you might get a T-shirt or at least some socks.
I like the socks.
Okay.
I'm not saying anything bad about the T-shirt. I'm just saying, I know about the Saint socks.
Okay, because the T-shirts have our faces on them, but we got it. You won't. But that's fine. We'll just
Fine.
keep those for ourselves.
Fine.
Okay, so you now fast forward to what is your full-time
Yes.
job?
So got my master's, got my undergrad master's in health kinesiology. So being involved with basketball, understanding I needed to work on my physical ability. I really, and also it goes back to me personally, my emotional and mental well-being. I really got involved with exercising and using fitness as an outlet with my stress and my mental clarity and mental well-being. So through that time, I got my master's. Again, I can go through a number of different situations during that time. What should I focus on? Should I get my MBA? Should I get my master's in education? And God just kept telling me health and kinesiology. And so went overseas. I was very passionate about my own health and fitness journey throughout that time. Came back, taught. I mentioned when I moved up here, I had no job. I was a certified personal trainer. I knew. So when I moved up here in 2003, for 3 years, I was really putting my hands up. I was volunteering with the Corps. I was really seeing what God had in store for me. I did start training, personal training. In 2006, some doors opened. I did my first group personal training program at the University of Dallas, and doors were opened in that kind of group fitness area. Got married in 2007, and as we got married, I had a few people that asked, hey, why don't you start this boot camp thing? That was in 2007. During 2006, though, I also had another encounter with someone that opened up doors for the name of my company, which is Get You in Shape. And so I've been doing this now since 2006 on a full-time basis. And God has used fitness, which is crazy. I would have never thought that I would be used to help people change their life, because that's my calling, is to really help with the mental side, the emotional side, the physical side, and yes, the spiritual side of people changing their life for the better.
We got to hear some stories, but I have 2 questions for this. One is, did you have any pressure around marriage when people said, are you going to get a real job now that you have a family? Like, did you have that social family something?
I did. I think anytime, especially for me as a trainer, I was a trainer, guys. I mean, what I did not want to do is have that T on my forehead that says trainer.
He wraps ankles.
Or a physical therapist trainer.
Yeah, no, I'm
because
with you.
really everyone kind of knows how can you raise a family as
Yep.
being a personal trainer working at a gym. And I wasn't working at a gym. I started, what's called as a business, and it just grew like wildflowers. Because of those 3 years that I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, I was all in service. I got my license to be a life insurance agent. I got a health insurance agent. I did bartending. I went and did caddying for 3 years. And all those jobs that I did during those 3 years, just to see what God has in store for me, was service-based. And so understanding what my identity was, which is my identity is to love and serve others, I knew that whatever God is going to open doors for me, that it was going to be to service others. And the health and fitness, that's what God, he opened. So as far as did people tell me that I shouldn't be doing that? At the time, again, I'm a loner, not necessarily a loner, but a lot of my life was just me making decisions based on what I feel like is the next best step for me to make a decision. And walking with God and understanding, like, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going to take the next step. And with that is I didn't know where I was going. It was not easy. My wife, when we got married, was a teacher, and she was the breadwinner when it was just me and her. But after a few months, after those doors opened, and I said, okay, I guess God is opening doors for health and fitness for me to help change lives. That's when the floodgates opened, and it's been an amazing journey of understanding that it's not about me. It's about what God can do through me.
Can you share stories or reflections on transformation? And I think there's physical transformation, but do you also, it sounds like, see that somebody who comes in for physical transformation leads to other transformation?
Yeah, a number. One client, he knew I was a Christian, which is good, meaning I post on social media, but, you go to our website, it's not necessarily like blasting, I hope
Your
Christian.
necklace is also right here above the fold of your shirt at all times.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he joined knowing that I was already Christian, but he needed somebody. He had struggled for years. He's 53 years old, 40 pounds overweight, and he was a type A go-getter, but he just hadn't found anything that drove him. And when he changed his life, gave his life to Christ, he knew that he needed to treat his body as a temple, and he wasn't, and he needed some help with motivation to do that. He's like, you're going to have to hold my hand every step of the way. And he lost 40 pounds. It's been a year and a half. He's in the best shape of his life at age 54. And he has been an inspiration to me, understanding he's shown me what my gifts are, and understanding I already knew my gifts, but he has poured into me what I've given him. And it's more of a confirmation that I'm doing what I should be doing. And that's one. Another person joined, and he asked me to pray for him in his journey, which I've never had happen before, which I loved. I'm like, yes, let's do this. And he ended up losing a total of 65 pounds. Real estate agent that just, again, in his situation, he was needing some help in one area of addiction, and he needed health and fitness as a means to focus on that instead of the addiction.
Sure. And
certainly needed help in doing so, but I was able to help him through that process. And again, looking at, it's been 2 or 3 years since that happened, but I can over and over stories, but just amazing. It's not me, it's him, and more of him, less of me.
Get you in shape.
Get you in shape. Does anybody say get you in shape? Like, get you.
Get you in
would
shape.
I spell it wrong? Like CHEW. Get you in shape.
That's
Get you.
Yeah,
that's how I would say.
just like everyone asks what's your email, you have to spell it out. GETYOUINSHAPE.com.
Get you in shape. So where does, you're doing physical fitness, where does other parts of this, and I'm thinking of, is there any mental exercises?
Yes.
How does diet play into this? What do you recommend for the best brand of gummy bears if we're going to snack during the show? Like, what do you?
Yeah, first it comes down to what your goals are. So certainly as men of faith, we should have some reasons why we're working out. So yes, have goals, look better, feel better, be healthy. Those are all great. But for the mental side, they only will go so far. So having a reason why you want to achieve those goals is number one. So that is first and foremost. I know you guys, you're Catholic men. For me, I've got 7 kids. I've got reasons why I need to move. Certainly, I said it earlier, but mental and emotional are number one. I've got to be there mentally for my kids. I've got 7 kids, as you guys heard. It's not easy, as you know, Jeff, and even if you have 2, 1 kids, it's not easy. So mentally, physically, that's the first. So why you need to work out.
Yep.
Why you need to eat healthier. We all know that you should not eat a donut and you should eat an apple. So it's just the basic choices that we make on a daily basis. Why are you going to get up earlier to pray? Why are you going to do X, Y, and Z? It's a reason why that's going to drive your choices.
Yeah.
And we are creatures of our habits. So the end goal for me, having and helping someone, help them figure out what their choices are, why they're making their choices, and in turn, those choices over time will lead to their new daily habits, which will lead to your new lifestyle. If you desire to be more holy, guess what we got to do? We got to pray more. We got to spend more time. If you desire to have more energy, well, guess what? You have to make different choices. And so for me, it's going into the mindset. It's having a reason why. I need to be fit and healthy so that I can be God's light to others. So if my choices are to not work out and drain my mental and emotional well-being, I'm really saying I don't want to be God's light to others. That's it. I'm beating myself down for that. I make a choice to plan my day
It's
to
a why. Right?
Yes, the why. The why. Yeah, everyone that says the why. We call it my so that's. Your so that's.
So that.
So that. I'm exercising so that. I'm eating healthier so that. I'm making this choice. I'm putting my phone down at night so that I can get enough rest. I'm drinking this water so that. Here's why I'm doing it. So those choices, though, again, just stack upon choices and end up your daily habits. And we are all creatures of our habits. The end goal for me is to help people understand that your choices lead to your habits lead to your new life or lifestyle. So I can get into fitness, I can get into nutrition, I can get into accountability, but it starts with your mindset and your choices.
Well, and people, I don't think we as sort of modern Catholics, modern Christians, modern people in general think always about the whole body-soul connection, even though it's there in our theology. And I'm not saying we speak anything against it, but we just don't always think about intentionally that connection between the two. And that shows up in our sacraments, right? Like the whole idea is that we're washing in baptism with water, but it communicates an invisible grace, which is the true cleansing of sin. And so it's both this outer sign and this inner grace, right? And same with our bodies and our souls, right? That what we do with our body affects our souls and our disposition, our ability to receive grace, to pray better, to get up earlier because we're eating better, so we're sleeping better, which means we can wake up earlier. So it's all connected.
Yes, and as it relates to having the motivation and the actual, like, not feeling like I lazy to not work out, it should be one layer of motivation. Like, I need to move so I can treat my temple the way it should be treated. So I can have energy to get, when I get home from work, to actually do the things I should be doing in order to serve God. And that, for me, that's have energy to play with my kids and to go play tag because my kids are young right now. I need to move around and get on the floor, and I need to be able to be mobile and fit for them right now so that, yes, for me, for God, I am doing what I need to be doing.
Yeah.
Now, it's different for someone that's 55 years old to have grandkids now. You know, they're getting home from work. Well, maybe it's to go serve in church. Maybe it's to go and do Alpha at their church or doing something. But a lot of folks don't feel like it because they're not treating their bodies right. So they get home from work and do the same thing over and over. They watch TV, they eat, and then they go to sleep and repeat. So we as far as being Christ's followers, we are called to be light. And if we're not treating our bodies the way we should be, and I do not work out 2 hours a day, Jeff, just to let you know. I do not. I have 7 kids. I do not eat the broccoli, chicken, and rice every
Perfectly
meal.
portioned.
Really?
So it's all balanced, though. It's all making choices and winning over the course of the week.
I'm sorry if I've been quiet over here. I've been sucking in my stomach as hard as I can because he keeps looking at me.
I eat right.
And they did told me I have to on the microphone. I've got to make sure. So I haven't looked at Nick
No,
much.
Why don't you look
that's
over at Nick?
normal.
Why don't you
Yeah.
talk to Nick for a minute?
Well, hey, I was actually going to make up a point here. I saw on your LinkedIn you were posting about your kind of like litmus test of like how am I doing, where am I at on running a mile, right? And like
Yes.
your time was like 6 minutes. I'm like, that's a pretty good litmus test, Brad.
I think in general we all need somewhere to gauge our progress.
Yeah.
And for me, it's just an easy gauge. Like how am I doing is running a mile. I'm able and fit to run a mile right now. I don't know what I'll be 10 years from now, but for me, that's a gauge. For most people, it's standing on the scale. That's a good gauge. It might be doing measurements. If my waist is a 40 or above, I need to do something. For me, litmus test is running a mile. So having a gauge of progress is huge. Quick example is I'm about to turn on September 10th. It's my
different age.
birthday. Yeah. So every time on my birthday, I do birthday burpees. Say that 10 times. Birthday.
Birthday
burpees.
Yeah.
Birthday burpees.
Yeah.
Hey,
10
he
times.
he
No, I'm
teaches
just
math
kidding.
class.
Birthday burpees.
So I'm not just going to get to that day and do 49 burpees.
Yeah.
I'm not. So I've started about 6 weeks in, so that when I get to that day, I can actually it'll be not necessarily fun, but it'll be I'm not just killing myself. For
Do you
49.
live broadcast it?
I live broadcast it, yes, and
You do?
I record it, and I try to be with my kids because I want them to see that this is what I'm doing. That
That's
it's
awesome.
exciting for them, and for me. Guess what, guys? If I do that live, I'm going to be pushed a little bit harder. I know people are watching
Yeah,
it.
that's
or
right.
if not live, even if I record it, I'm
Yeah.
recording
Still.
it, and it's that one layer. Again, you talk about litmus tests. Is like I'm sharing it with the people.
This
so
guy
that-
could be my coach. Let me check him out. See how he's doing first. Better be good form.
Birthday burpees.
Better be no slacking in between reps.
Yeah, and again, for me, it is about walking the walk. Understanding I'm called to motivate, encourage, inspire others, and so if I'm not walking the walk, and that's just one way. So sharing that once a month is just a key for me. Is like, okay, this is where I should be, and yes, over the years, have I been able to do less than 6 minutes? Yes, but my age has increased, and so I'm just happy where I'm at. If I can stay there each month, if I fall above, which I have, I know I need to do a little bit more throughout the month.
Yep.
This all makes me think of the one time that I had muscles recently, and it was when they made a cartoon version of us for the Firebreaker series, which is all about St. George and the Dragon. It's out from Coronation Media. It's a novelized podcast that you can experience the courage and the friendship and the sacrifice of St. George and the Dragon. And they've drawn a cartoon of the three of us, and
It's
we look
pretty wild.
pretty awesome.
Yeah, Jeff looks like he's just casually strolling with a sword slung across his back.
While
Me
these
and
two
Paul,
are,
I'm like aiming with a bow and arrow.
I have a dagger and like a shield or something.
I mean, y'all are in straight up combat mode.
yeah.
And I am strolling into the party
Jeff's just like, hey
Like-
guys.
like, I'm walking onto a yacht or something.
Yeah, Yacht Rock is playing.
Casual.
Is
Yeah.
playing while you've got a sword over your
They
shoulder.
paid us a very small sum of money in order for us to do this, but we love these men and team and women at Coronation Media. So check out firebreakerseries.com. And we're actually doing, probably before this comes out, some pretty cool promos to give away that T-shirt you
Yeah.
didn't want. We held on to it since you didn't want it. But speaking of wanting it, do you want to play a game?
I'm love to play a game. Apparently, I'm
Great.
not playing though. I'm just.
Do you want to
judge.
play? I'll
I'm
judge
just-
y'all.
No, I'm
I'm happy to
judging.
judge you.
I'm judge.
Oh, okay.
And this game is called Blessed Are the Joke Makers, for They Shall Inherit. 71 points. You just did the stress ball squeeze, and you got 71. So that's what we're going with.
I saw 17 from my side. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
sure.
Yeah.
Lysdexia affects 7 in every 1 people. All right. So what we have to do is we have a character card and a Catholic card game card, and we have to answer the prompt on the Catholic card game card as this character. And you just get to decide who you enjoyed the most. So there's no objective like, oh, that sounded more like or what. It's just whichever one tickled your funny bone, you get to decide.
I'm
You're the
already
judge.
laughing.
Yep.
This is
Yep.
great.
Here we go. So the character we all have to become is as a U.S. president. And they'll know we are Christians by our blank.
Well, Brad, I didn't know I was going to get a chance to be on the stage being a Christian, but they shall know we are Christians by our bright futures. And I'm giving out these sunglasses that say, we're here to get you in shades.
77 years ago, our fathers founded this great nation. Hold on. Our fathers founded this great nation, and they'll know we are Christians by our presidential physical fitness challenges, which go out to all elementary students and test them in their physical abilities of push-ups, pull-ups, and mile times.
Great throwback, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
And they'll know we are Christians by our ability to land on the moon, and we will get there first, and it'll take all the strength and metal that we can muster, and send us from the body here now to up to heavens above.
Yes.
Great accent.
That was great.
Yeah.
I will say I like the throwback to elementary school because we all remember the presidential. I don't know if they still have it or not.
I did
But
it.
they don't.
Yeah, I did it. I got there.
But
made
the
it.
71 points, unfortunately, does go to Paul. I mean, you gotta like his voice on that.
I mean, his voice is amazing because he's a mouth coach. Everybody knows.
Please stop
You
calling
don't like my Abe Lincoln impression?
I can't say I did not like it. I just have to pick one.
I will stop calling you a mouth coach, but I will not stop telling people to take your mouth class.
No part of this is comfortable for me.
Dude, I want to tell you something. I
like the new beats.
literally sent out a note the other day. I haven't even told you this. Trying to get you booked as a voiceover actor in a from the firebreakerseries.com.
Oh, wait, really?
I did actually, yeah. Dude,
no
I'm
way.
lining up. Listen, I'm like in pro bono
I need
rocket
to
ship right now.
start paying you some percentages.
Let's talk. Okay. I actually think there's some other really good gigs I got coming for you, but
Wow.
the best gig I have coming right now is a pair of St. Patty's socks. Did you ever, because you played basketball in Ireland, these socks were
Yes.
put in my hands by the Holy Spirit
Thank
when
you.
I secretly took them out right before the show. And I keep thinking about if you go back and play ball, just wear these. And with your height, these should come up to just at the bottom of your ankle. And you can still dunk, right?
I can't say I am 100% on that.
I bet you can.
Well,
If you wear them playing basketball, you can drive the snakes out of Ireland with them.
There you go. Thank you.
All right, and for all of you who want your own basketball socks that look like dress socks, go over to soccerreligious.com/BeatiDudes, and let's hear from awesome people that we know that we love.
The team at Aquinas Wealth Advisors believes that good values and good returns are not mutually exclusive. Using a tech-smart and morally sound approach, they provide investment alternatives that align with Catholic teachings without sacrificing returns. These days, faith-driven investors are finding it hard to know where their money is going. They have no visibility into what their dollars are supporting, but there's a better way. Thanks to the Faith and Finance Score from Aquinas Wealth Advisors, you can look into your current holdings to see what you're supporting and make a switch to an advisor that aligns with your values and gives power to your voice. Check out AquinasWealth.com today.
Hey BeatiDudes, it's Jeff here. When Nick and I set out and we started this company, Undivided Life, we decided to not use traditional healthcare, but we went with Solidarity HealthShare because we thought it was an affordable and ethical alternative that matched the needs of our business and our growing families. Since then, my family put Solidarity to the test. We've had pregnancies, babies, emergency room visits, even a brain surgery for one of my children, and Solidarity has been an incredible partner and has also had the cost and the ethical approach that we love. Here's a link for you to go check it out. learnmore.solidarityhealthshare.org/BeatiDudes. This is your chance to be in solidarity with the Scheffelbein family.
Hi, it's Paul Kolker from the BeatiDudes here, and I just wanted to share with you guys that I also, outside of the show, perform improv comedy on a regular basis with a group called Divine Comedy. So what we do is we come up with everything on the spot. So whether you're looking for faith-filled, fun, family-friendly comedy for your youth night, or whether you're looking for clean comedy for your corporate event, Divine Comedy can perform for your group and even get you in on the action. So if you'd like to hire us to come out and perform for your next event, check out divinecomedyimprov.com. Divine Comedy, an inferno of fun.
Stop what you're doing and listen to the BeatiDudes.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here with Brad Linder, and we're talking all things get you in shape. Brad, you had a lot to say in that first segment there, and I think, for me, I guess if you were just going to say like, hey, maybe I've tried and failed in my own personal fitness journey, like, what's like, do you have like your go-to kind of like, hey, we'll just start here, or just try this, like the one thing to like get started with X?
Yes.
What would you say?
I think the best thing is you have to know why you're doing it, which we went over. You have to have a plan. It's kind of funny. Someone the other day said, I want to start walking. What do you suggest I do? The first thing you need to do is get some shoes.
Yeah.
Do you have shoes? No. And, the next time I talked to this person, I asked if they'd gotten their shoes. They had not gotten their shoes yet. So I think the first step is to find a plan.
Yeah.
What plan do you want? And majority of us are short on time, so something you can actually do realistically, not only for 90 days, but for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So having a plan. And the second step is find some accountability.
Yeah.
So plan and accountability is the two biggest things, and that's what we try to do. Have a simple step-by-step, just follow our instructions plan, mental, fitness, nutrition, and the accountability to help someone along the way. But the first step is you need to have some sort of plan. And then, yes, plan to fail, fail to plan.
Correct me if I'm
Fail
wrong,
to
but
plan. Yeah, go ahead.
plan to fail.
Yeah, I know.
Oh no, you're good. No, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the first step to walking the first step?
That is correct. In this situation, their goal was to start walking.
Yeah.
And so, okay, if your plan is to start walking, the first step, do you have shoes? Like,
Yeah.
no.
No.
Well, the first step
Yeah.
is actually go get some walking shoes.
to the shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
Run to the shoe store so then you can start walking.
Paul here is still young. He doesn't understand when you start walking, for some people that are middle-aged
Sure.
and older, it hurts their feet.
No. I do get and respect that. I was just being sarcastic. Please, let's move on from
Just
what I was
being a
saying.
big mouth.
Yep.
Okay,
class.
we have our
Take
class,
my class.
class discount. Enroll before this episode's over at Paul's
the
mouth.
_mouth.
Yeah, and if you put in Paul's mouth as a code, you'll.
For 25%.
Chris is gonna have a heyday with this one in the comments.
It's funny because on our sticker, you're the only one with your mouth closed.
That's
How
right.
ironic.
I know, and no beard.
Still don't have one.
Nope.
Okay, we have our TBD question of the day. Play along at home. We would love if you're a complete stranger to answer this and share all the details of this answer on our YouTube page or whatever socials you're into.
Sure.
So the TBD question of the day today is just to
Thanks, Porky.
he's Catholic. that pig. It's to describe your current state of physical fitness. What is your current state of physical fitness? I've actually told this to our boy Brad Linder before. So I'm in this weird funk where 3 years ago I lost my running ability from a major, like there's no cartilage in the knee and it's on its way to a knee replacement. I had this theory. Tell me if you've ever taught this. Run till it hurts, run till it doesn't. The doesn't never happened. And one day the leg stopped working. I literally was like dragging it home and I'm like, it stopped. So
Got all the miles I could out of these
yeah, hey
puppies.
buddy, good job there. Put in a good fight for 43 years. So anyways, I'm 3 years into this journey of like not running. And I like running. I
Yep.
miss it. I have this like, the stages of grief. Literally went through them. I was like, I'm never going to run with my kids.
Yep.
I'll probably never see straight again. I mean, it's all this stuff that I started like extrapolating out of the pain. But now I'm like, just call me curious to be in shape.
Very good.
I'm not in great shape I do also have 7 kids,
Yep.
so
No, but you eat well and stuff
pretty
too,
well,
right?
I mean, it got a lot worse with all the Benedict stuff. Like literally, there was no like food prep in our house. People were bringing amazing food, but it was also like you'd end up in all these situations where you just eat whatever was in front of you,
Sure.
or no joke, you'd have this like terrible day, and then there was these amazing brownies.
So
And
the
you'd be like,
temptation was just staring.
oh yeah, and I don't mean like a plate. I mean 4 families in a row dropped off brownies and cookies. I'm like, we have to eat these out of respect for the people who made them.
It's purely out of respect.
Yeah, I can't even send a thank you. I'm too busy stuffing my face with the next round of brownies.
Just smudge a thank you note with brownie.
Stamp.
I hate this. No, it's taking a toll on the old midsection.
It's where it tends to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm feeling pretty decent about it right now, just because that has been more of a focus for me lately. Trying to get either out for a walk, and I'm doing the rucksack walks.
That's perfect.
Nice.
Which, man, it's amazing what a difference that makes, because you think, oh, well, I'm quote unquote just walking, right? Or at least, that's the kind of maybe the high school Paul Kolker that's still there in my head. That's like, what do you mean walking? Get out, like go throw some weight around or do a sprint or whatever. But yeah, just
By the way, that is an amazing form of cardio. Just instead of walking, add in the ruck, and you're not going to get, because of your heart rate zone, it's not going to send you to where you're just so hungry you have to eat so much food. It's because you're keeping your heart rate at a level. So highly recommend continuing doing it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's something that I had seen through a couple of friends who are also just kind of in that fitness world, or at least very fitness minded, that they would walk, or they would walk plus some amount of weight, right? So for anybody who's not familiar, just a rucksack is basically just a backpack with a weighted plate in it, and or you can do sand and water bottles and whatever, just adding weight so that while you walk, you're under more stress, under more load. And so I try to at least do that once or twice a week and get to a weight room once or twice a week. And so between the like 3 or 4 workouts that emerge from that pattern, kind of like what you're saying, where it's just, okay, am I doing kind of the 80%, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I'm hitting every workout perfectly or anything like that, but yeah, just overall feeling the results of that, feeling like I'm sleeping better, making me want to make healthier eating choices as well, because I'm feeling the trade-offs start to happen. So right now I feel like I'm in a pretty decent place with it.
I feel like because you have to be on stage and camera a lot too, it would be a giant mistake to let yourself go into not being healthy, because that comes through in skin tone and in vibrancy and in sharpness. I mean, it's a big deal on all those.
No, for sure. That has been part of the motivation. And you can write some of that off to maybe vanity, like if I'm being perfectly honest, where it's like, okay, well, I've got to be in front of people. It's kind of like what you were saying with the workout. If you record it,
Yep.
right, it motivates you. So it's me saying, all right, well, if I gotta be on camera or in front of a bunch of people, I want to not necessarily look my best, but definitely not look my worst, right? So I want to try to fine tune that a little bit.
When you said your routine, by the way, walking I don't do, and you said weight room, I thought at first you did what I do, which is I go to waiting rooms.
Oh no, Jeff.
Just like, that's so close to what I do.
I do waiting rooms all the time.
I'm always in there for like at least an hour and a half. Somehow my midsection's not getting any better.
Let's hug.
Come here.
Sad but true.
All right, Nikki.
Yeah, I feel like I have a pretty normal like oscillation of like, I'll do weight room for a while and then I feel good about that, and then I'll run for a while and I'll flip back and forth. And like right now I'm doing more running than weightlifting, and really that's been a pretty cool blessing, because my knee, I broke my leg at the femur, or kind of at the femur at the kneecap in high school, and for the last 5 years or so have had some knee pain and running. And last year Father Ken prayed over my knee, and it wasn't like an immediate thing. Cleared up a bunch of spiritual stuff first. Pretty amazing.
Which is often the issue, the real issue.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, in the last like 4 months I haven't had any knee pain.
Wow.
Yeah.
Praise God. That's awesome.
Amen.
I think you're very disciplined, and I don't mean that like in a rigorous way. I just mean like you use words like oscillation to describe your your workouts.
For me, like the biggest issue is like eating and drinking. Like, what are you taking in? And doing things like St. Michael's Lent with Exodus that's coming up and or going on right now, and then Exodus 90, I lost like 15, 20 pounds
Nice.
just not eating any snacks, not drinking any alcohol, not eating any sweets, right? It's like the things you shouldn't do, but then to have that reason why keeps you honest for 90 days. And like when you're working out 3 to 4 times a week and not putting bad things in, the weight just goes away.
True story. You want to know what I do?
I do.
So 3 days a week, I'll do resistance training, strength training, and it varies throughout the year. But I've gotten last year, December, I ran my first marathon ever, and my wife said no more marathons, which is fine. I just wanted to do it, say I did it. So I was really big into running for about 6 months.
Yeah.
That was last December. I haven't ran.
It's
I
such
do my
a time commitment.
I
to
do
be
my
a
1 mile.
marathoner. Yeah.
I do my 1 mile, which is once a month, but within my workouts, they're all interval based. So, and then what I do on the off days, it's sometimes I'll do 10 or 15 minutes of push-ups, pull-ups, and various strengths, more of the bigger muscle groups, which is really what I focus on. And then 1 day a week, I'll do some mobility work. But that is, if I added up the whole time, it'd probably be 5 hours a week.
Yeah.
You look
Maybe
good
not
for
even
5 hours
not
a week.
even that. Though.
And you
I
feel
would-
good
I
too,
would-
don't you?
I
Got
do,
them
but
guns.
why do I feel good? It's so that I can have energy for my kids, so that I can be
Yeah.
God's light to others, so that I can be fit and healthy as my kids get older. And so for my future grandkids, I'm a little bit older than you, Jeff. I've got 7 kids, and it's going to be a while before I have grandkids. So
Yeah, but what's the age span between all your kids?
12, 11, 9, 7, 6, 3, and 2.
Oh, so we're basically the same. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, you're cool.
I'm good. I'll be a granddad, and my 2-year-old will be. Let's see. She'll be graduating high school in 16 years when I'm close to 70. Not really, but
Yeah. Well, no, I gotta
Yeah.
say, like,
So I've got some reasons why I need to be moving today.
yeah.
So
I'm just gonna suck in.
again,
For 30 years.
The more you suck in, the better it is, Jeff. You'll be
Yep,
fine.
yep.
I'll teach you suck in class.
Nope.
No filter.
Put my eyeball on the microphone. I can always tell which microphone is Paul's because it's where his
Bud.
forehead goes. When
Yeah.
we move these around, I'm like, oh, there's a forehead print there. Let's see, Jeff. Hang in there, Jeff. Hang in there, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, listen, how do people find Get You in Shape?
Yep. GetYouInShape.com and
Okay.
pretty much every social media outlet, YouTube, all the Instagram, Facebook. Get You in Shape.
Well, let's make
LinkedIn. Don't forget LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Yes.
I love it on there. Can you let's make a real push here to say you don't have to live in Coppell to get all of Brad Linder.
Good point.
Coach Brad is available to you anywhere in the world in asynchronous coaching. Is that right?
Yes, sir. One of the things that I learned during COVID is I have gifts to use, and yes, our location is in Coppell. We have a physical location for our fitness, but I learned that people need my help. They need a Christian, someone like me that has gifts to help them with a plan. And the other thing is the accountability part. And so essentially I call myself a consultant for someone that wants to change their life. And if you're a Christian, especially Catholic as well, I essentially am the spiritual director for someone to help them change their physical life, which again is going to be more on the mental, the physical and the spiritual side too. So so it's just been a great process of me understanding my gifts and figure out who I help, who I'm called to serve. And that person is a Christian, Catholic. They're usually middle-aged or a little over, and they just need a plan and they need help. Just like a majority of people out there, they just tell me what to do.
Everyone I know.
Tell me what to do, I'll do it. But then once you know what to do, that doesn't mean you're going to do
Follow
it.
through.
Yeah. So it's the coaching and the accountability that really that I have learned that is the key to anything. And I'm just saying I'm just doing my service, but with anything, people need a plan and they need the coaching and accountability. And that's really the highlight of what I do and the gifting that I bring to somebody.
Well, if anybody signs up for the virtual coaching through getyouinshape.com and starts working with Coach Brad, and they mention the BeatiDudes to Brad, they will get a personalized voice memo from the BeatiDudes. That's our special thing for today.
Yep.
It's gonna say, "Go, do it."
That's it.
Put that brownie down.
What are you doing? Yeah.
Can you imagine? This is our new thing. Like, we're just gonna tag along with Brad's coaching. Your next text message is just the BeatiDudes talking from a desk.
It's just one more layer of accountability, guys.
That's right.
Do you want to look like that when you're 70? What are you doing?
You have grandkids.
You have children. Yeah.
Start oscillating. Start oscillating now.
You just
I've just
yelled
gotta-
in your own voice.
I've just got to change subject completely and say, Brad, I really commend you for your discernment and like openness and like willingness to listen to God and the Holy
Amen.
Spirit. Like, I think everybody could go back and just listen to kind of your own discernment process of like, people are like, what am I supposed to be when I grow up? What
Yes.
should I do? And be like, be open is what you should be.
And,
Well,
and
I'll-
try things too.
I
Because you
will
said,
say I've
right.
tried a lot. I was teaching 8 kids at that Special Olympic special ed, and felt called to move to Dallas. I knew no clue what in store, and just looking up. We've had over 5,000 clients that we've helped on our YouTube channel alone. 1,000 testimonies that people have shared their video testimony. We've been able to just on a charity level give over $250,000, and by no means it's Brad Linder. It's God moving, and He directed the steps to every step. All those little service jobs I had was leading me towards the next thing, the next step the next step of faith. So yes, I appreciate you saying that, but it's really just a surrender, and I'm still surrendering with 7 kids. I have no clue what's next. So
Stick around for the Friday episode.
Right. Well, speaking of getting you in shape, we do every episode on Monday differently with the ending. And we wanted to just turn it over to Coach Brad for Brad's choice. How are we ending today's show, Brad?
yeah, we usually I like to end on some breathing at the end of the workout.
Yeah, right on.
But I think we should do some burpees because it's my birthday burpees. We are in a small area here.
Are we?
I
didn't
will
notice.
This
I
is a
will
tiny
tell
table.
you that there are about 20 ways to do a burpee. Everyone thinks you have to throw yourself on the ground and then jump up
Yeah.
and touch the sky. That's
Okay.
a burpee.
Yeah.
But I will show you guys a 75-year-old version of a burpee.
A modified.
And
This
yeah,
is a rolling table. We can move it a little bit.
No, you don't need
no.
to.
Oh, yeah.
No.
No, don't. Don't move it. Here we go. Oh, my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, he's...
So all you need is a table. So this is a 75-year-old. I'm in a plank. You would get back into a plank, and you want to be, but then you're going to step, and then you're going to clap. And then when you clap, you got to say, "Woo!" Okay?
All right.
And you gotta do. Everyone knows that noise too. All right, so all we're gonna do is get in that plank.
Hold on. I'm doing some
And ideally, you would be on the ground. And level 1, you just like somehow get your leg up and the other leg up, and then you gotta come up, and then you gotta clap your hands. Woo!
love me a 75-year-old burpee.
Listen,
Could be 90.
you have gone through
That
a
burpee's
journey
only like
with us
12
today.
seconds
If
old.
you are
What are you
part
talking
of the BeatiDudes, you are breathing, you're mouthing, you're sucking it in, you're wooing, you're 70-year-old burping. We got it all right here. Thanks to our man Brad Linder. Get you in shape so that you can do whatever's next for you. Isn't that right?
So that. Keep saying it.
All right.
I love it. I love it.
And if you got a ripped shirt, so that.
All right.
Oh, Mr. Play on Words.
See you at the seamstress after you do that part. And for the rest of you, we shall.
See you in the Eucharist.
God bless you.
Thanks for tuning in. If you'd like to join us at our undersized table, subscribe to the video version of the show on YouTube by typing @ that's the symbol @ so shift and 2 on your keyboard, @ the _ BeatiDudes on YouTube. We'll see you there.